This is Green Cove Springs Marina, right on the St. Johns River and near Jacksonville in northern Florida. It's where we left our small sailboat during hurricane season because it's well protected, affordable, and we could do the work ourselves. And it feels like the projects kept piling on, and the cold and wet February made it tricky.
Alex is cleaning up my mess of a through haul I did.
There was so much caulking.
Alright, it's gonna be a lot better.
Oh yeah, getting the boat ready for painting. We are using some Interprotect to do the first layer, so it's like some sort of barrier coat. But it's so tricky to figure out when to apply it because it's not really good for cold temperatures. And we're getting like a full week of just really cold weather and then a full week of rain. So trying to plan out all of this.
Well, the weather's not cooperating. But we're gonna paint the pads where the pads are gonna be moved to because while it's cold today, tomorrow's our only good day for paint. And then we're getting a bunch of rain and just shitty nighttime temperatures. So it's really making it difficult to get all of the products that we need on. We need at least one layer of Interprotect, which is, all we're gonna have time for, so that's what we're gonna do, which should make up for the fact that I sanded away roughly one layer of Interprotect. And then we're gonna put 2 layers of bottom paint. But yeah, the window is just really tight, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the pads today. Hopefully by the end of the day we can at least get one layer of bottom paint on there, on just the pads, and then tomorrow we'll move the pads over to where the paint is already. Hopefully it's set enough, and then we'll paint the rest of the boat tomorrow, all the coats. And then when we're hanging the slings in between the terrible weather we're gonna be getting, we'll hopefully be able to paint the last layer of bottom paint where the pads are and finish fixing up the keel. All right, we're at our line. So I know I got the ratio right. Now we just need the hardener. We're mixing up our Interprotect here. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. Normally, if you have small cans, you can just mix up the whole batch. You add the one can to the other and it makes it really simple. But since we have to do so many steps this time and we have the larger can, we have to mix it ourselves for our smaller batches.
It's been 20 minutes of letting the 2 parts sit together and Corey's painting.
We are ready for bottom paint. We're putting on bottom paint NT, or bottom coat NT by Interlux. And if you follow the Interlux fine print down at the bottom of the can, it says when you're putting on the first layer of bottom paint, it's best to do the thumbprint test because temperature and humidity is going to affect your best timing. So what you want to do is you want to put a thumbprint. And if you're not getting any paint, maybe this one's a little wet still, but considering I'm not getting any paint, technically that would be ready. But basically, around this time is a good idea to start putting the paint. Now it's probably still going to take a long time to cure because it's so cold today, but at least we can apply our first layer of bottom paint.
Well, it's kind of tricky. Normally I'd be doing a lot of the painting. That's one of my main tasks, but I'm trying to stay away from all the fumes. So holding my nose or wearing a mask to try to get a bit of filming, but other than that, staying quite far away from all of this. It's really hard not being able to just help with everything while being pregnant. But it's just something I'm struggling with, but trying to do other things. Focus on the cleaning, organization, and all those things, because that I can do.
This is a better example here of the thumbprint test because it's a little drier on this one. So you see, pushing pretty hard and I'm not getting anything. That one peeled a little bit. I pushed fairly hard there. But yeah, you push and don't get any paint. Should be good. Alex is just a little too short.
I just need a few more inches.
put some wax paper on top of the pads so that we wouldn't damage our bottom paint. Paint! Finally! So stoked! Oh, that's a great roller.
Yes or no?
No, it's rolling off itself, but it'll be alright. I'll manage it. It'll work.
We removed all of our old bottom paint, or anti-fouling, because there was too many old layers and they were flaking off. Plus, we were changing the type of paint so we couldn't apply it on top of the old one. In Lake Erie, the anti-fouling we had was designed for fresh water, and it was specifically designed for Canadian waters, so we couldn't get it here. And anyways, we wanted to try something that would work better in saltwater and hopefully reduce the growth of algae and barnacles. How's the painting going?
Really good. We're almost there. It's exciting. Whew. It's fumey though. I'm so tired right now and really happy. I'm getting pizza in me. I'm starving and my back is sore. But this is all part of getting the boat ready. So I'm really stoked. We got all the inner protect on. Now, as soon as I'm done eating, I'm going to throw on the first coat of bottom paint, and then tomorrow morning we'll throw on the second coat. So we'll be pretty much ready to go, except for the rain that's coming up right after that.
I've got an amazing boyfriend that's doing all that work. Meanwhile, I'm like hiding from the intense fumes.
There's a few spots where it's streaking a little bit, but overall pretty happy. Now we're just watching paint dry, waiting for the thumbprint test to be good and not take off any paint and just leave a light thumbprint where it's still somewhat damp. So maybe another, I don't know, half hour or so I'm hoping, and then I can put on some bottom paint.
Well, tonight's gonna be our first night spent on the sailboat. It's kind of exciting, but the whole boat is such a mess because all of the tools are out and everything else is out, and we don't even have a bed made, so I've got to get the bed ready for us to sleep. And Corey's working on the other layer of paint. Well, it kind of stopped raining. It wasn't supposed to rain in the morning, but it did. Corey still managed to pull off putting the second coat of bottom paint on. So now the whole boat's almost all painted other than little touch-up sections. And Corey is working on the anchor locker. I set him up with a nice little tarp because it's gonna start raining again. And it's gonna be raining for the next week. So we're not launching this weekend. We figured might as well stay on the hard, just pound off a bunch of indoor projects, / do all the provisionings while we're here, because it's gonna be way easier to just drive the car to here, run the groceries in and out, versus trying to do that in the dinghy in pouring rain. So we're gonna stay here a little longer, get everything all ready, and then once we launch we'll just take off instead. And I'm trying to install these solar panels, semi-flexible ones, because right now I've got them all here. And it's so filthy with all the rain, we're just tracking so much dirt. So I'm putting them all there.
It's toasty. A nice warm day, thankfully, and the rain's holding off a little bit, so the paint's gotten dry, at least to the touch. Now it just needs to cure. And right now I'm sanding the anchor locker, which I was wearing the sweater and I'm just dying of heat because it's such a warm day. Whew.
Don't complain, we had like freezing temperatures.
Oh, I know, it's so much nicer, to be honest. I'll take this any day. I've got a nice roof now. I'm going in my home, drill some holes. If you've watched our last season in the Bahamas, you probably know that we were taking on lots of water through our anchor locker. So it was time to fully seal it. I was getting really tired of having a wet bed every time we would have to beat into waves. Getting ready for glass. Finally gonna seal up that anchor locker. So we're just gonna wet this out on this side and then slap it down and wet it on the other side. It's fairly thick stuff, so we'll probably only need one layer plus the filler to kind of clean up any of the other spots we're missing. We were debating putting more layers, but we didn't have time yesterday. I'm kind of glad we didn't, because I mean it would have been stronger, but I don't really need it to be any stronger than that. I can put like almost my whole weight on it.
Well, you better be able to put the whole weight. The chain weighs more.
Alright, Alex is doing a little bit of testing.
It's holding on my weight.
Ooh, some little cracks that we might need.
Maybe we should add a bit more.
Might need a little more.
Adding some extra layers where it cracked. I've been trying to get this shackle off, but it's so rusted that I'm actually bending the tip. So Corey is grabbing the grinder and we're gonna take that out because we'll replace it with a brand new shackle instead. Don't want to lose our anchor. This is what it takes to tighten the bow roller, which we got a new bow roller from Memphis because the other one was all bent up. That one looks really, really nice.
Almost all cleaned up. Now we're gonna have to test it to make sure it sits up there okay. Alright, we're gonna call that good enough. Now try to push. We're gonna try to push up the rudder and see how it sits, make sure the clearance is okay. So we actually don't have a lot of clearance, so we don't want to go any higher than that, basically.
Exciting moment. Corey made the rudder all nice, so now time to paint.
So it seems like after I sanded this down a little bit, I must have broke through some of the kitty hair I had shoved in, and there's bubbles and a little bit of water coming out, so I guess we still have water in there. For now we might have to just seal it, and well, what we'll do is we'll drill out a little bit, get whatever leftover water is in there, and then we'll use some underwater curing epoxy. Obviously there's still a little water in our rudder, but we gotta get going. We'll haul out next year and we'll drill a bunch of holes in the rudder and get it completely dried out.
Actually, we're hauling out in a few months.
Yeah, hauling out in like 4 months, so. Just connecting all the stuff again. Tightening up this ring here. It's gonna hopefully keep our rudder in place.
We don't want to lose that.
The cable is rubbing on the top because we lowered the rudder just a little bit. So what I'm gonna have to do so that doesn't rub like that and it goes right in the channel is I'm gonna loosen these 4 bolts and we're gonna raise this up just a touch, just a little hair, so this is riding in the track better.
So we have all those beautiful and old instruments, which actually none of them is working. The depth is the only one that ever worked, and now we're replacing it with our new Hawkeye transducer. So they all gotta go, and Actually, right here there used to be a speaker, which didn't work either. Nothing works here. And that used to be where we had our radio coming out. So we're gonna be removing all of this and making it look much nicer, hopefully.
How much fun are you having?
This is so hard.
You almost done?
No. Well, I disconnected everything from the back, but now it's trying to de-seal them so that we can shove them out.
Well, I thought it was ready to come out. Give me my pry bar. There we go, finally. Stubborn little thing. This is nuts. How stubborn these are.
So project of the day is trying to mount those two new instruments. Actually, that one has been fixed. It was sent back to us. The mic wasn't working. Corey had it wired through a speaker. Hopefully it works. So Corey made a nice little template before he actually makes the real holes. Is it gonna go well?
Should be good. Should look nice.
Just for your information, if you are planning to do some work on your boat in Florida in late January, early February, it's wet, really wet and really cold, so it's kind of tricky. Ooh, okay, I gotta get in. And then you drag so much dirt in the boat.
You can see the edge of the hole here that was still there, but luckily there's a nice little lip on the side of this thing that covers that right up. So that's gonna look good. Now we just need to put the radio slot in here. This is gonna be slow and lots of vibration, but it's gonna work for this. So let's do this.
Woohoo!
That's a sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's fully stocked avocado, tomatoes, bacon, cheese, arugula on a croissant.
Oh, so French.
Well, I'm kind of French. Okay, I didn't get a bite of everything though.
No cracking, and it's not getting too stiff to turn, so we should be good. Now we just need to put butyl. It's gonna be what it's like gonna look like. Get the radio wires in there. That's it.
That's gonna look so much nicer.
Yeah.
Slash no more water inside. And that's a piece of putboard. I'm so excited. That's like, the projects are actually starting to like finish. Actually, that's a total lie. There's like always more projects, but the things that we needed to have ready to take off for the Bahamas. And we are booked for tomorrow night to hang in the slings. So Corey will do the fiberglass under the keel, fix that up. And then on Thursday we're launching. And hopefully no water comes in. Oh, there we go. This is like 100 times better.
We got room for more instruments.
It kind of looks empty,
One
eh?
day.